please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. Does everyone notice all the monarchs that are migrating the past few days? That was like tons.
Good, that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. It's pretty cool, I think. I stopped counting after like an hour. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, clicker.
Attendance counter.
Oh, it's multiple. Roll call.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here,
Cindy Valentine here. Artie Bryson.
Here.
Christy Hilton.
She's absent right now. She's trying to balance our tax. We had a lot of people pay taxes, so I'm
She'll
sure.
probably be here in a little while.
Yeah, she'll be here, and I think she's trying to find 6 cents.
oh, okay, well, let's give her some time.
So it's harder to find $100 or $200 sometimes. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Krista Regan.
Here.
Sandy Kupo.
Here,
All right. Press on. Bills payable. I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion for bills payable in the amount of $90,865.15. Support.
Okay, we have motion support. Any discussion?
I have a slight question on professional fees for planning for the boathouse zoning ordinance amendment.
Okay.
Guess why is it so high?
Where is it?
It's the first page at the very
$33,228.
bottom.
Page at the bottom?
Then it says
Maybe gift
total
list.
department, 721, so.
Probably the master plan. I believe they bill us.
Well, that would be, I think that the total bill was $3,000. I know part of it was for zoning for boathouse, part of it was for the master plan.
Okay, all right, so the master plan is included in that?
Yes.
Just in the stipulation.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 items
Okay.
on that. I think that's how BSNA runs its report.
I was a little confused because we had preliminary discussions at the last meeting, so there's
Right.
nothing in,
It's just one invoice, so we have limited room to put the invoice description, but it encompassed all those things in addition.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Krista Regan.
Yes.
Sandy Kupo.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Okay, next is the supervisor's report. And yes, a good one we have. As you recall, back in August 12th, we sent a letter, I said we, the St. Clair County Emergency Management Team and Clay Township, to declare emergency to the governor. And we really need that to help us with resources from the state and federal government. And she has not signed it yet and have not heard anything about it. And as we all, we pray for the best and prepare for the worst, we have definite plans set where we can do, things that will help a lot of people. Along Anchor Bay Drive, we can do some preparation for the Dyke Road and actually a lot of spots on Harson's Island where we can seal off a lot of culverts and areas and utilize some big pumps to help out a lot of people. And this is over our resources. We can't handle that, but the Corps of Engineers certainly can, and some of the MDOT. And the problem is, the federal and the state government, they move slow to get some of these things in place for next year. We have to start about 2 months ago. And these agencies are ready and willing to help us, but they really can't until she signs this declaration. So we're hoping and that she sees fit to do that soon. I know there's They're busy with figuring out the budget, but it doesn't take that much long to make a decision on this and sign it in my mind, but. I don't know if you noticed, Starville Road's been repaved. They are working on some of the shoulder work. I thought it turned out pretty good. We did get Columbine Road open all the way on Harson's Island and Volks Road. There are a couple soft spots for the gravel, and I'm sure once the gravel that we hauled in there gets packed down, we'll have to probably readdress it. And the first part of Columbine Road was fixed. I reported the board, we were gonna need quite a bit of stone there, and they ended up did take 1,400 tons, over 1,400 tons. Thought the bill was gonna be more than it was, actually, because we did find some match money available from our road fund. So it ended up to be $4,500 cost to the township. So that was a good thing. Closing Wednesday is scheduled for the property on Harson's Island for our proposed nature park and kayak access site on the island. It's over this side of the schoolhouse grill. To refresh everybody, it's about 9 acres. And after we get the DNR Trust Fund grant and the matching funds from the county, it'll end up costing the township a little over 14 grand for 9 acres. So once we get that, we'll be working on doing grants and things to develop that into a park. Okay, our sewer interceptor. It's been hot and heavy lately. What that is, that's the big line that runs along M29 that all the other connectors and feeders go into, that goes to our wastewater treatment plant. And it's kind of complicated, but we're pretty sure, well, we know it needs work. It needs to be done. And it's going to be a project that we, with us and IRA, because all IRA's stuff flows through it also. And there was a lot of questions about who actually owns this. What it was back in 1972-ish, it was a county system, and they gave it to us to run and manage. It was really unclear about the Interceptor. We always thought that the county still owned the Interceptor and the lift stations. They think we own it. And there is some paperwork back from the 70s that says they do own it, but it's kind of messed up. It is for our benefit. We're not saying that, the county has to pay for it or anything, but we did hire, or we agreed on having OHM, it's an engineering firm that specializes in this stuff, to do the engineering and find out exactly what needs to be done and where. It'll probably end up being lined and repaired that way. But and last meeting I came to you with an agreement where the county would hire OHM and IRA and us would fund it. And thought, well, why are we even dealing with the county with this? And there was a few things in that agreement that basically said that the townships own it, and it was really cumbersome. And IRA had a big problem with it. I did too, kind of. And I'm thinking that there's really not a good agreement on how the wastewater treatment plants run. There's no formal agreement with it, no contract, and it's for us, Elginak and IRA. And the county's been running, and they've been doing a pretty good job. But I think now is the time to figure out some sort of a formal agreement, who owns what and who's responsible for what and for maintenance and everything else. So at our next meeting, I'm gonna have a contract between us and IRA to hire OHM, not the county. And I'm going to start working on intergovernment agreement between Elginak, IRA, and us with the county as far as, like I say, who's running it and what are the responsibilities. There's a lot of questions that really IRA has to answer. We have room for some expansion. Elginak's doesn't have room for a lot of expansion. They're not gonna have a lot more building. IRA has potentially a lot of building. So, in my mind, they have to, if they want more capacity, that comes with the cost at the plant. I mean, they have a lot of decisions that need to be made. Like the force main that goes along the dike, that's 98% IRA. Right now, it's a 16 inch line. I'm thinking that will have to be expanded for their capacity. I'm talking 20, 30 years from now. If we gotta do a lot of work on it, now's the time to do it. So they're trying to figure out these questions too. And with their answers, it really matters a lot what we're gonna have to do at the plant going forward. So lots of stuff going on with it, and I will keep you abreast. The Colony Water Main Project, the landscaping is pretty much done. We're waiting on the final street and water basin. They're supposed to clean the street and the water basins. And we do have a punch list to see, meet all the concerns. With that big rain we had last week, I think there was a couple spots where some of the grass seed got washed away. So we're looking at that right now. We're working hard right now with our health insurance renewal. We got a renewal cost of 18%, and that's not gonna happen. So we're getting creative to reduce our costs, or reduce our increase from 18 to something more palatable. And in fact, I just had a brief conversation with them today. We're gonna be looking at several options going forward. Hey, had a meeting on property for a proposed beach, and I got another meeting set up, so that's really huge, and hopefully we can do something so we have a community beach here. We have lots of water and no beach. We have a slow roll bike ride leaving Ligas. That's Thursday, September 19th at 6 o'clock. And it's gonna go through St. John's Drive and I think down by the Colony Isle subdivision. Gathers around 6 and leaves shortly after that, so if you wanna go on a nice bike ride, you are more than welcome. We have our Sturgeon Festival this coming weekend, 20th to the 22nd. I'm totally stoked about this. They have a beer tent Friday and Saturday. Friday, the Gobies are playing, an awesome band, and Saturday, the Meldrum Brothers are playing. And Saturday, there's lots of kids stuff going on. They're gonna have a petting zoo, some face painting. Cabela's is bringing in a bunch of games for them to play. We're bringing in, 4,000, we got a couple 4,000-gallon water tanks. One of them is going to house a couple sturgeons that we're gonna catch the night before. I'm going sturgeon fishing. And then we have the second tank's gonna have about 75 brown trouts that little kids can go fishing and catch them, and we'll have a kids fishing contest there, who can get the biggest one, and I believe we're gonna have someone there that will fillet them, and a grill, you can cook them there right at the same time, so lots of memories could be made there. They are going to, the tournament is actually Saturday night, and it's totally sold out. We can't let any more boats in, and they are gonna, because it's a nighttime when you go sturgeon fishing, I think they start around 6:30 or so, and they gotta be back in by 7 a.m., I think, and 8 a.m., we're doing a pancake breakfast for them and anyone who wants to do it in the park. Our 4th annual Scarecrow Festival is October 26th in the park. We have a make and take scarecrow. where you can just show up and build a scarecrow and take it home. It's a lot of fun. We do have a DJ that's going to be there. That's awesome. Scarecrow contest. We open a contest for the first responders. There's a business, the best business scarecrow, and best service groups, service organization groups contest. There's lots of other stuff going on. We do have a dog costume contest. We're gonna have a musician, face painting, and photo ops with Brenda. She's a professional photographer. We do have the big giant obstacle course, and Paw Patrol will be there. And of course, lots of good food. And we got a bunch of other stuff, recreational stuff. If you're on Facebook, go to Clay Township Parks and Rec and like it, and all that stuff is there. Or you can call our building department for details. So that concludes our supervisor's report. Moving right along, we have public comments. Do we have any public comments? You can address the board on anything you wish. Any public comments? Okay, hearing none. Consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the board meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2019, and check reports. And I just want to mention that I did make a correction to the minutes. The minutes from last meeting say that the next meeting was September 3rd, which it should read September 16th. I just did it.
Support. Okay, a motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under new business, we have a building department update. I think it was, who was it, Chris? You asked how we're doing at the building department?
I did.
Yeah, so actually, we got Gary and all three of our building inspectors are here. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hello, real good.
You guys,
It's been busy.
all you guys have been busy.
As you can tell by, I think Cindy gave you all a report on really just since I've taken over where we're at. And yeah, just we're growing. Anyone that thinks we're not, look at that report, right? We've issued over 120-something permits in that time. Done over 400 inspections in that time. That's busy. That's busy on a day-to-day basis, especially when we're just doing it virtually part-time at the end of the day. You know, there's a lot, I think, that we still need to do. But things are so busy right now doing the day-to-days, we're not finding the time to be able to accomplish that. My hope is that once we reach the winter months and things start to slow down again, then we can look at some things that really need change. You know, for instance, some of our permit fees are very low, and they don't even pay for the inspections or for administration. And we've got to at least be able to support the department. We're not here to make money, but we've got to be able to be self-supportive.
We need to add re-inspections too.
I would agree. There's a lot of different ways to do it that I'd like to bring to the board after I put it all together for you, because there are different ways that we can approach the permit costs and fees. And yeah, re-inspection is one of them. You know, and I can go into it now if you'd like, but there's a lot of different things that we can do. When you pull a permit, you can tell us how many inspections that you want to pay for. And we can charge you for that. And once you've used those up, whether they're approved inspections or disapproved inspections, that still counts on one of those inspections, so that we can always keep our head above water on the cost of the permits. Another thing I'd love to see us do is to get more, you know, suave with our computers. Right now, you know, I'm kind of limited to my access to information when I'm out in the field. You know, and a lot of my inspections are done after 6 o'clock. I don't have any support staff after that. So it would be helpful if we could do, like a remote access to BSNA. That would allow me to be on the computer live, at 7, 8 o'clock, whenever I'm out there, to be able to look up the property, see exactly where we're at, also be able to put in the inspection reports, be able to put in, whether or not the inspection passed or failed. And that'll save time for our office staff that, once I send it to them, it's useless. They have to take it on an email and then re-put it into the computer. It's just a lot of wasted time there.
Twice.
Yes, that if I had a remote access to BSNA after hours, it would definitely streamline and make a lot more sense of it for Cindy the next day, so she's not just buried in paperwork trying to get all those inspections in, those 400 inspections that we've been doing. So I'd like to see us do that too.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
Gary, do you have any platforms in mind to get what you need as far as the computer work?
As far as
The program?
BSNA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm utilizing a program right now, that will work great here. It's an air card. Of course, IT has to set it up.
Yeah,
It's all,
how that works, it's a point-to-point VPN that we'd have to set up, and I'm well familiar with those. And that would allow you, it wouldn't be as fast as you sitting here,
correct.
but it'll allow you access to out in the field, so.
Yeah, and it really does.
I just wrote
It
it
helps a
down.
lot when you're out in the field to be able to look up an address, be able to see, is there a permit for that? To be able to see where we're at with all the other inspections that are going on that property. And it's a very helpful tool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Might be helpful if you put a list together what you're looking for. Are you looking for a small Surface laptop? Are you looking for a tablet? What do you think is gonna work out best for?
Well, even for now, if we can get live on, a laptop works great. It gives you a
Yeah.
better size screen, little better user-friendly when you're in a car, trying to go to all the different points that you need to on the program. That and the air card and IT to set it up.
Gotcha. Are you looking for one?
I think.
Or would this be something that it's a test run and you eventually funnel this down to the rest of the inspectors? Or how does that?
I would love that as the idea. Let's bring it in, let's get everyone comfortable with it. And then, ideally, if our other inspectors had that option out there in the field, it saves you from having to come back in the office, even if you're here during the day, to look it up and then have to go back out. Once again, you're saving steps by having this at your fingertips right out on the road.
Is that something you'd be able to make changes on in the field or not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You'll put it in as it'll be right up on BSNA. It's live, as I would do it out in the field. The office could be on that same program and see it change right before their eyes.
When
It's
Cindy
also,
Take
when Cindy
pictures,
came in in the
upload it.
morning.
what's that?
You can take pictures and upload it to the files, and
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantages to it.
Kind of like Facebook now, right?
I don't know. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Hey, Anthony, Kelly, come on up real quick. You guys can't skate out of this easy. How's things going with you guys, okay?
Yeah, it's been going great.
Yeah, busy, huh?
With the change, it's a little bit, it's not only for us, but it's for the contractors and homeowners as well.
Right.
They have a lot of questions, so over the past 2 months, I've been on the phone a lot. And
Right.
I think it's coming together real well,
Okay.
so.
All right, Kelly, you've been here forever.
21 and a half years.
Is this the busiest we've been, you think? Or close to it?
It's close to it,
Yeah,
yeah. Real close to it.
Right.
I think it was busier in '01, '02.
uh-huh.
But yeah, it's,
Yeah, we had more staff back then, too.
yes, we
01
did.
and 02, like a lot more staff. Hey, guys, got any questions?
Comments, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, gentlemen. I really am. I know your job cannot be easy at this time, walking into a situation that we've had, and we want to institute some changes, obviously. And that's going to be a directive, hopefully that funnels from you guys, into us so we can make some good decisions for you. But appreciate you guys being on board. You're being very professional and a lot of good feedback so far, so. I thought we'd get a lot more resistance. And I'm not finding that to be the case, so.
The ordinance is your friend,
Thank you.
so. All right, guys, thanks for coming
it's
in.
wonderful.
Guys
I
can
think
skate out of here if you need to.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, next on our agenda, we have policy review. I think what we really wanted to discuss is how does the board want to attack this? I mean, we could put in, our policy manual is pretty lengthy at best. We can put in sections of it, and if we need to discuss it, the sections we can, and then towards the end after we review it all, we can make one motion then to accept any of the changes or anything. What were you thinking, Joanne? This is kind of like your baby.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I'd like to have everybody take a section and look at it. We can't all read the whole thing. It's big, it's long.
Yep.
But if we broke it down into sections, and if you saw something that you wanted to change in your section, that's fine, and then to go from there. But whatever you think would be a good way to do it. And also, update it in, as best we can. In the book we have now, you can put all the updates in there, can't you? With fairly simple, not simple, but,
Yeah, like I gave you an update from our federal
yeah,
procurement
right,
policy.
like that, yeah.
So I updated our book and I made sure you have one
Yeah,
with yours.
yeah. But, I'm just open, want to hear what you think about it. We can't just leave it be on the side. It's too important of a document for the township. And especially if we make amendments to it, we'd have to, in the front of the book, say amended at this point, so we would know that it's been amended, the amendments, or something to that effect. We can't just do it. We have to have some list of what we did somehow.
So do you have, so what you're proposing, if I'm hearing you correctly, is like a comprehensive review of our existing policy manual?
Right.
But it's too big of a document, so what you'd like to do is subdivide the document and give sections to various board members. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And then
Take a
from
few,
there, you would
take
be
a couple-
open to some suggestions on changes and/or improvements, I would think, right?
Yeah, and then Cindy is the one that's got to do all the physical work with getting it in there. But we have to have it so that we can get the whole thing board approved again, and we're way behind approving it. Because if you read the adoptions, we were supposed to take care of it in 2018, and we haven't, we're way behind.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
Well, being the former educator that you are, could you bring to the next board meeting a proposal for us, or subsections?
Well, I
Can we
want,
start peeling this onion apart?
Yeah, we'll do sections.
yeah, sections, I think sections.
We'll hand out sections and divvy them up.
About 8, there's 8 sections in there, 8 or 9 sections, is it? 8 or
Okay.
9? Some,
Can I have-
the
can I have a small
hardest, the
one?
longest ones, the longest one get,
The book is this thick, Chris, just so
Yeah.
you're
So
aware.
would this be like handed out paper copies
you
electronically?
go to
Probably
your-
what I'll do is I can go through and try and break it apart evenly and scan everybody their section, and we have an extra week now between board meetings this time, so it'll give you an extra week to review. Our next board meeting is not until October 2nd.
they're
And
not,
then
Or
is
we can
this
say,
something-
let's review it in a month, or I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a while.
Is this something that's better served like in a breakout special meeting type setting, or are we gonna split this
could.
out between a bunch of board meetings and?
Let's decide that at our next meeting.
But I think we can't just keep kicking it down the road. I think we need to keep it up to date because it's an important document.
I just think it might get better or more attention if we had a special meeting where we all know we're walking in talking about this
Right.
versus 12 other things and this.
Right.
You all have copies of that document, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can't sleep at night, read that and you'll fall asleep.
The biggest section is the financial,
Yeah.
Christie's, Cindy's end of it. But they already are in it all the
We'll
time.
divvy it up and then, we'll talk about it the next meeting. If we need more time, we'll take more time. If we wanna do a special workshop, we can do a special workshop.
Well, even as an example, for like the financial parts of the policy manual, it might make sense to give it to Christie because she's in the day-to-day, but then it
Right.
might also make sense to give it to someone that isn't in the day-to-day.
Right.
So that's where a special meeting may come
I
as a
think some of
benefit.
them will need, I'll probably try to get through them all.
Good point, good point.
Yeah, some
You're
of
not
them may.
sleeping well these days?
Yeah. Right, so,
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, the fact that we're gonna look into that, and I think it's very important.
So how do we make this lip service go? How do we, what's our
divvy
first
it
step?
up.
Divvy it up.
We're gonna start divvying it up between now
Now some
and next
people have some
meeting?
concerns that some other people should be reading certain sections, so, I mean,
I-
I started, 6 months ago, I put the ethics
Yep,
group in, and then I figured everybody could look at it, if you had any concerns, let me know, we would put that on the agenda. Nobody had any concerns, but somehow it got dropped when we got high water, so that's the other option. I can start just putting in smaller sections, and as we're going through, board meeting to board meeting, again, if you read it and you have a concern, then we'll address it. And otherwise, there's no sense in talking about every individual
No.
policy, just something that,
Just changes.
you want to change. So however you guys want to do it, if you want to just get your small little section, or if you want me to just start putting in sections every board meeting and we can.
I mean, again, I don't mind taking my own section, but Chris might interpret my section a lot differently than I would, and vice versa. So I don't know that really is giving it what it
I think we need
needs.
to look at them all.
I think divvy them up, we'll put them in the packets. It'll be our job to review them. And like I said, then we can have a workshop where we talk about it and approve them all at
All
once.
at once, yeah.
Instead of approving, the ethics policy, today, and the next meeting, we'll approve, the financial part of it, or the safety part of it, or however, so.
so if I'm hearing you correctly, you think between now and the next board meeting, we will have the book, the policy manual broken down into sections, and we will have them ready for assignment by the next meeting? Or we wanna put ourselves maybe some more realistic timeframes on this?
Yeah, more realistic. I'm
realistic,
saying,
yeah.
let's put a section in our packets for us to review,
All of us,
all of us.
same section.
Yes, and you can review it. If you have any questions, you can bring it up at the board meeting, or we can take notes, and then maybe we'll have a workshop at the end of that, if it's needed, and go through it then.
So what if we had just a workshop on the ones that people seem to have concerns
That's
on?
what we would do.
The ones that
We-
don't have
we
any
would deter-
concerns,
We would determine how many need addressing, and if it's gonna be more than 15-minute discussion, which this is turning into be, we
But we
can,
need to use our
we can say,
brains.
you know what, let's just have a workshop on it.
And here's part of the problem, like Joanne had said, that financial section is pretty big. So
Yeah.
you may get the beginning of the financial section, and then Mark might get the end of the financial section, and then you're seeing things that you want to know if there's other policies that pertain to that, and him vice versa. So when you're only doing parts of it, sometimes you're missing the whole picture, because they all kind of funnel down and relate with each other.
Okay,
So, I'll send some out to everybody.
Very good.
All right, sounds good. Moving right along, we have a new hire here for the fire department. Part-time, Bryan Ceto, is it? I didn't mess it up? Come on up, chief.
Good evening. I'm requesting permission from the Township Board to hire Mr. Bryan Ceto part-time. He's, currently he lives in St. Clair. He is certified to the Fire 1, Fire 2 level, along with a medical first responder license. And he currently works for Grace Performance.
Awesome. What do you do at Grace?
Parts guy.
Oh, okay. Parts guys are important.
I like to think so.
Yeah. Have you worked anyplace else, any other fire departments, or?
Yes, sir. I'm paid on call in St. Clair City too.
Oh, okay. Awesome. They're not that busy, are they?
Not too bad.
Not too bad there. Anybody have any questions for Bryan?
Will your schedule allow you to do both?
Yes, sir.
Work for St. Clair and Clay Township?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Good.
Gotcha. So you've got Marine City and Richmond and all these other, why would you want to work for Clay Township?
Well, I grew up just off of 26 Mile, and family's always had boats, so I'm kind of a water bug. So,
Working at Grace?
yeah. So to be able to get the chance to have a career and have it be a little bit more dynamic than a standard fire department inland was exciting to me.
Neat.
Good.
Good answer.
I'll entertain a motion if.
I'll make a motion to approve the part-time position in the fire department for Bryan Ceto.
Support.
You have motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Bryan. Welcome aboard. It's a nautical thing, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you support that, Joy?
Oh, no, yes, I did, yes, I did.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay, next, we have fire department request for fire prevention materials for $2,085. That's the educational stuff we give to the schools, teach them what to do if there's a fire. And it's budget item, line item 206986.
Make a motion to approve the fire department prevention materials for $2,085 out of line 206-986.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion on that?
I have a quick question. The request from Chief Rose in our packet is for a different amount than the agenda,
Yep.
Yep.
and it's a different line item.
Yeah, actually, you're right, it's wrong on the agenda. It's $2,732, and from,
Let me amend my motion
yeah, and line item
to approve the fire department
956, I did catch that.
prevention materials, $2,732 from line 206-956.
Okay, thank you.
Good eyes, good eyes.
Yep,
You still support?
okay, we have edited motion and support.
Support.
Okay, we do have support.
If anybody's curious, I think that was the amount we spent last year on the prevention materials. I left it on there as a placeholder, so I didn't forget, and never updated it. My apologies.
All right, motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the police, the command contract. The only really big change is, well, as far as raises, this is going to be a four-year contract, and they do get an extra percent in next year, and then a percent in 2022. It's hard for me to get, it seems like so far away. So year two and year four, they get a percent increase. Other than that, everything stays the same. And we did change their funeral leave to mirror what patrol has.
I
Or is
do
it-
have an issue with section 41-1.
41-1.
Looks like they went through and corrected the dates from July of 19 to
Yes.
July of 23, and then they crossed them out and put July of 16
Yes,
to
they
July
did.
of 19. So
They
if we
did.
could have them put that back.
I did, they did, I caught that too. I was gonna send a email to Tiganelli about that. Yeah, they went backwards on the dates.
Like, they crossed out the good dates and put the bad back in.
Uh-huh.
That's all.
Is there a reason for the 3 years versus 4 year?
Well, like all the, this is a 4-year.
Right, but it looks like it was, before it was a 3 year, is that?
Right, yep. And it's funny, all the groups this year, I gave them a 4-year option, and surprisingly, they all took it. And they really kind of mirror patrol. And so they said, yeah, if patrol's doing a 3-year or a 4-year, we'll do a 4-year also, so.
Thank you.
That was, I didn't anticipate that going into negotiations, and we threw it out there, and they said, yeah, we'll do 4 years. Okay. Any more discussion, or does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the police contract from 2019 to 2023.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Sandy Kupel,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Motion carries. And next, we have Resolution 2019-222. It's a map amendment. We're changing on one parcel of zoning from C2 to R1. This is a residential property, I believe, that it's a lot easier to sell and get mortgaged if they are actually residential versus commercial. And as any rezoning issues or zoning issue changes making ordinance process, it comes from our planning commission, then it goes up to St. Clair County Planning, which they hash it over and approve, then it comes back to this board for final approval.
And this is nothing more than a inheritance on some property along the river on the north side of the old, I want to say Captain Two's, but that'll be date myself, on Big River Grill.
Sid's?
And I believe the property at one time was attached to the C2 across the street,
Yep.
and this was a residential, so there was no adverse effects on granting that change from C2 to R1.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2019-22, the map amendment for zoning ordinance amendment 12637.
Support. Okay, we have motion and all kinds of support. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Sandy Kupel,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. I know we do have some more properties like that. I know the houses along M29, we do have, I'm guessing 6 or 7 houses that are actually zoned commercial, but they're resident houses. So we may see this once or a few times more. Next resolution is 2019-23. It's a text amendment. We're adding, we're changing amendment to 12638 to allow small-scale social clubs. And what this is, I know on social media, everyone thought we were going to allow adult entertainment things and everything, and it's not the case. We have, we live in a unique community here, and what happened, this came up, a guy from Conger Bay Yacht Club, which is not really just a house at the end of the Snai. And they wanted to put up a garage in the back. But even though their property was one of the residentials, I don't know how our ordinance read, is since they are a yacht club, quote-unquote, a yacht club, they have to go in front of the planning commission, which I thought, that's a little ridiculous for, you know, if you saw it, it's a house with 4 docks, and I think they have about 10 members, 8 members to do. And so what this is allowing these small, and these are popping up a lot of times. Say if 2 or 3 people go in and buy a island out in the flats, you know, to use for fishing, you know, it's a club, and they would have to go to the planning commission for any changes. Well, this allows, so they wouldn't have to, if that makes sense.
They wouldn't have to go in front of the
From
planning
the
commission.
planning commission to do,
Treat them more residential.
treat them like a residential home.
As it should.
I mean, as we should for the smaller, like, you know, North Channel Yacht Club, the old club, and those bigger places, you know, they have to go to the planning commission still. This is for the smaller, clubs that are, what is it, less than an acre, or I think it was 2 acres.
2 acres,
And so many members,
30 members.
30 members, so we can treat them as, you know, residential.
So this has already gone by the county
Yes.
planning?
Our planning commission came up with this, and then it went up to the county, now it's before us. Is that right, Mark?
Yep, actually, it gives the planning commission and the board a lot more scrutiny over these types of businesses or establishments that they have as social clubs, so it's a win-win situation. We can control it a lot easier. So we don't have things that were brought up in the past as we went through this process of inappropriate businesses in Clay Township. Okay.
Well, on that note, Board, I would make a motion to approve Resolution 2019-23, the text amendment 126-38, a small-scale social club.
Support.
Okay, I have motion and support. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Krista Regan?
Yes.
Sandy Kupel?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have Resolution 2019-20B. It's amending our 20A that we passed,
No, just 20.
or 20. And actually, I want to talk to the board a little bit about this. I'm going to recommend that we postpone this. The past 3-4 days, we have been getting a lot of phone calls on just the people on the Snybora, the end of the North Channel, and the Baltimore. They would like to see the dumpsters stay at Deckers. And we do have, or I've got a call in the Deckers, because I know the 2 years before this, that they're upset, you know, it's a big mess, blah, 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 get them out of here. And I'm told they have a change of heart. And if that's the case, and the board does choose to, I would recommend that we'll leave these people on the tax roll for a year, we'll try it. But I want an agreement in writing from Deckers that we're allowed to keep these dumpsters there for 5 years. Without that, I wouldn't recommend, because I know how it works. You know, like I say, they're okay with it this year. There's a lot less volume of garbage, because a lot of people, if their place is underwater, they're not using it, as in years past. The people on the middle channel, they're elated that we're getting rid of the dumpsters. So,
Is that a motion?
yeah, I will make a motion that we postpone this. We do have some time before we have to set our tax rolls in stone. We got all October to figure it out too, but, like I say, I need to talk to the owners of Deckers and get some kind of written agreement from them before I would move forward.
I'll support that motion.
Okay. We have motion and support.
Are we paying it, or is Deckers receiving any monetary?
No, no. Their monetary consideration will be they can use the dumpsters also. We have 3, I'm not sure what the size is. They're not the big roll-off types. Maybe they're 5 yards or 8 yards.
10 yards?
Yeah,
10
maybe,
yards?
they're the kind of tip. They have 3 of them there. And, I mean, I've had a lot of discussion with people, but I know a lot of people would like it there. I've gotten a lot of comments. And Deckers now claim they want to see the dumpsters stay there. And I know we're flip-flopping a little bit, but like I say, the thing worked on Lug Island and Harson's Island, and we agreed to keep that one there. And I would say that we group this group also with the Russell Island group, so they would be 137, like we're doing with Lug Island. And,
Yeah, hey, Artie, what kind of inappropriate use did were we realizing over there on those dumpsters?
what's that?
What kind of inappropriate use were we experiencing on those
well,
dumpsters?
I mean, they were just inundated by stuff. The ones at Deckers weren't as badly abused as the ones on the island, because Deckers there's someone there 24/7. But they still were abused, or they were overrun where the capacity wouldn't hold the garbage, so they would just throw the garbage on the road or on the side and everything else. And we didn't have any issues this year, but last year, we had to send our water department down there a couple times to Deckers, and I remember looking for alternative location with the DNR location or North Channel Yacht Club property and other property there, and they said, oh, hell no, we don't want them. And that's why, we were recommending, as all the other locations, that we have these dumpsters. They weren't as abused as much as they were on the island, but occasionally there was someone would drop off a refrigerator with refrigerant still in it, and that sort of a thing. But in this agreement, I'm going to leave it up to Deckers to police it too, in the agreement, so. And like I say, maybe we'll try these islands for a year, and if we have X amount of people that say, I don't like paying this tax for this service, then we have more grounds to dump it the following year. But that's my logic.
See
Okay,
if we can get it to go.
any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of postponing it? We have a roll call vote. Postpone.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Chris Regan,
Yes.
Sandy Kufal.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, next we have board member comments. Cindy.
I just want to welcome our newest firefighter, Bryan Ceto. Hope you enjoy working for Clay. Looking forward to getting to know you down there, and you get to know everybody else. All right.
Art?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Bryan for coming on to Clay Township Fire Department. Also, the entire building permit aspect here was great and long overdue. So thank you very much for the hard work put into this, and hope to see some more. Thank you.
My turn?
Yeah.
I too am glad to see the progress going forward with our building department. It's going to make it, into a more efficient manner to do business with people who are building, et cetera, and so on. So, welcome, congratulations to you for all of your hard work, all of you. And also, I'm glad to see that we're moving forward with the review of the policy manual. That's something that we need to do. That's it.
Sandy?
I also appreciated the reporting for the permits and the inspections, so thank you very much. It would be nice to see something like that every now and then to kind of see how much we're growing or that type of thing. So thank you very much for your report of how everything's going there. Also, I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention in the community that AYFL, which is our youth football league, will be hosting 2 home games in October. One will be October 5th, and then we will have our annual pink game on October 19th. And for the first year ever, we will be having the American Cancer Society hosting a walk around the track while our games are going on. So I encourage the community to form teams, and you can register online for that walk. Anyone that has any questions can go to the Algonac Youth Football Facebook page and get all the information, or send them a message if you have any other questions.
Cool, thanks. Chris?
Well, Board, I wanted you to know that I stopped by our home on Field Road, where we were building some complaints about debris and such in the driveway and the yards and the rear yard setbacks. And I had a pretty good discussion at length about very specific items. And I put the property owner on notice to let him know if adequate progress was not made by the end of the month, that he could start to receive and will receive fines and/or tickets. And I know that our building department is on this, and I know we have a code enforcement that's also on this. But we also have some concerned citizens about this piece of property. So I wanted just to make you aware that I did have discussion, and it was very positive. So I'm really hopeful that this issue resolves itself. Second thing I wanted to say is the Algonac High School scoreboard looks fantastic lit up. For whatever reason, the visitors' side was a little brighter than the home side, but the board in general looked very good. So thank you to the DDA. That's all I got.
All right, thanks. Welcome, Bryan, again, and I'm hopeful we have a great Sturgeon Festival. This is the only place well, there is one other Sturgeon actual fishing tournament, and it's at a lake up north, and it lasts X amount of hours till like 2 or 3 fish are caught, I can't remember. But it literally only lasts like 3 or 4 hours. And that's their whole season. It's not a tournament, that's their season.
So they just have a festival in Port Huron and they don't fish a
Right,
tournament?
right.
Because I know they have something.
We're the only
in Port Huron.
fishing tournament, actually, here in the Great Lakes. And last year, we had 22 boats fish it, and I believe they caught and released 81, 82 sturgeon in one night. So that's way cool.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's something very unique to ours. And and thanks for the building inspectors that came tonight, and I think they're doing a great job. I know it's busy, and I was actually gonna give kudos to our new zoning official, Shannon. I think he's doing a great job, and he's been there at the property.
I know he has.
2 or 3 times, and if there's not significant changes there, he's going to escalate it. And in all of these types of situations, we'd rather have compliance than tickets, but if we don't get compliance, you will get tickets. And a couple other things I wanted to tell the board, it's on my list. It got put off because of high water and time, but I'm gonna start getting quotes on getting our ordinances codified. That's been long overdue. I think back in 2008 or 9, it was attempted but never finished. And so I'm gonna get that going again. And I'd also like to start, and I'll have to get with Gary on this, get moving on a few of our dangerous buildings. See if I can get a few of them dropped and taken care of. So I'll get with you, Gary, in a couple of weeks on that too. I just wanna let the board know that's on my to-do list as well as everything else. I'm excited about getting our property for our park on Harson's Island, our nature park. And I'm really excited of, hopefully optimistic about getting property for a beach, which would be so cool for our community. So,
Got that right.
on that,
Motion to adjourn?
yes.
Support.
All in favor, ayes.
Aye.
Thank you for coming, and everyone have a good couple weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, month, rest of the month.